And this is the stream. So looks like Oreo wants to get groomed. Oreo's fur is much better ever since I switched him over to food. I think he actually has a grain allergy, and he's on Halo lamb stew. You guys can look it up. It's actually cheaper than the prescription food. And before, I felt like he had a lot more dander, and yeah, it's definitely decreased. I've been grooming him less and less. I know people don't like to hear that, but before, his prescription food had a lot of it had grains in it, and I didn't groom him for about 1.5 weeks, and I was thinking to myself, like, okay, let's see if his dander gets worse, because I thought it wasn't really up there. But yeah, he barely has anything, in my opinion. And I know they say you're supposed to groom cats daily, and I'm not really the greatest at it, especially because I feel like Oreo's not. He doesn't have a dander issue anymore, and I can be very, very open about it. So the things that I use is I use this dander reducing spray by Burt's Bee. You can see that I used quite a bit of it. See that? So I usually spray them about 6 times. I also use this brush. It's called the Hertzko brush. And the great thing about this is that, see, the thing retracts outwards. So Oreo tends to be a really good camper, and he is going to be our little model today. Let's see how it fares with this. So normally I like to get him upright. Right now he's sideways. So if you guys can, move the cat this way, especially if you have a camera. So I try to protect his little face. And so Oreo tends to be a pretty good camper. For some cats, they get really squeamish if you do the spray. So we also have this thing over here. And this is the dander wipes. This is good for Mr. Clinton. I'll link everything in the description later on, so you guys can check it out. But yeah, so I try to do something along the lines of, what is this by your paw? I tried to do something along the lines of about 40 strokes on the top. So I don't know how many I did so far, but let's just say that was 10. Okay, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And I also want to get his handsome little neck here too. So before, I used to groom him 2 times a day. As I mentioned before, I've been slacking off quite a bit. Oh, very handsome. And I do apply a little pressure, but you can see based on the way my arm is moving, it's not a heavy amount. So we do have some fur over here. This brush, I really like it because I feel like it's super easy to clean because it retracts outwards. Oreo really likes this too. So see this? I'll grab his little chest and I'll do something like, I know some people will be like, oh my goodness, Erica, this cat is very tolerant. He is very tolerant. That's why I like grooming him. Sometimes I'll count out loud, other times I won't. Okay, Oreo. So I like getting his tummy. Personally, for me, I don't like going lower than the over here. Okay. Come on. I try to go really lightly around here. But this is just because I know Oreo is terrible at grooming himself. So I try to help him out. If you guys can hear him, he's purring. Okay, and so I did this side. I'm gonna do this side. So he's very tolerant to this. Again, I do recommend, try brush your cat every day. And I know I seem like such a hypocrite, but I have to say, I really think this Halo food that I put him on, it's really good. I also try to do his neck over here. There might be a person who says, oh, you're doing it wrong, but Oreo doesn't seem like he really minds. Again, I try not to put too much pressure. There is slight pressure, but it's not anything super, yeah, so you can see there is, I try to make sure I get around certain areas more. Because you know Oreo's not going to be able to do his neck area. So, yeah, just spending like 2 minutes grooming a cat, it's way more effective than them grooming themselves in 10 minutes, in my opinion. Because they have like a little tongue like this big, right? So I always think to myself, every time I do one of these strokes, I can probably do about 5-10 minutes of looking for a cat. So you can see how he looks over here. He's looking quite nice. I also tried to do his tail. Look at that. Okay, Oreo, let's do your tail. And I'll look at that face. Look at that. Okay. I try to do about 10 on each side. I think Oreo looks quite good already, and this has only been a pretty short stream, so I feel like if you're really lazy, just brush them at least, 2 minutes a day, or even 30 seconds of brushing, just like quick strokes. Wake up in the morning, it takes like basically no effort to do that. So it looks like Oreo cat. Come on over here, Oreo. Come on. Come on. You can see how he is. So you can see how he looks like. He looks nice and soft. I was looking at cat grooming for Petco or PetSmart. And you know how much they charge? They charge $15 for 15 minutes. And I know people would say, Erica, you sound like such a cheapskate. But seriously, if you're watching like a documentary on YouTube, you can just, spend about 15 minutes or so just brushing a cat. Because you can watch, and this is kind of brain dead work. It's all about effort, So that is, there's no really rhyme or reason about exact routine, but I try to do about 40 on top, and then I try to do about 10-15 times on each side. When you saw me put him on his back, and then afterwards I'll follow up about 20 times on the top and about 10 times on each side on his tail, as you guys saw. So I would say 20, 20, 15, 15, and then maybe something like 15, 15, or 20, 20. So I guess you could say 20, 20, 15, 15 on the chest, and then 20, 20 again, and then 10 times on each tail, and then maybe I'll just follow up with a few more strokes. So like I've always thought, like, for some people, if they like, let's say they pet the cat, follow up, and if you're messing up the fur, brush a few times. See that? So let's say I go like this to him, right? His fur is no longer nicely brushed, so if I had a comb, I could just say, okay, let's just do 6 strokes or 4 strokes. There. The damage I did is gone. I know. You see? He's such a good little boy. So, all the things that are with Oreo, see, all this is it. And I don't have the trash can right next to me, and I'm gonna sweep anyway. So this thing, yeah, you can just move it off. So that's the beauty of it. Sometimes it gets a little jammed if you add a lot of fur on, but oops, sorry, Oreo. I find that it's not a big deal. Sometimes like Oreo has a lot more fur than this. I feel like now maybe it's summertime, who knows what it is. Maybe it's because of the change of the food, but he sheds a lot less than he did in the winter, for sure. Oh, thank you, Shy, for the fluffy tux bean. Yeah, so this is just a little demonstration about what I do for Oreo. And you can see him over here. Oh, hello, Oreo. By the way, in case you're wondering, he did get fed shortly before this. So don't think he's asking me for food. He is a tubby little jelly bean over here. And you can see that he's very sweet and he's very affectionate. So for grooming, I like to use him as an example. For Clinton, it's a little bit more tough because he does not like getting sprayed. I like using this over the dander wipe because with this one you get a lot more usage. It's 10 fluid ounces, and I know this sounds like being a cheapskate, but seriously, if you're grooming a cat, frequently I would say try to get the most cost-effective thing. And if you look at this versus that, this is 50 wipes, and I feel like you definitely get more than 50 uses out of this. So what I would recommend for the dander wipes is put this on the cat first, and this is what I do for Clinton. So you grab one of these, it's basically like a baby wipe, okay? And then you just rub it against the cat, and then I'll comb him best I can. And then afterwards, I'll finish up with with the same dander wipe. So I try to get as much uses out of this one dander wipe. I can usually I actually think I can do all three cats twice with one dander wipe. And I know some people will be like, oh, that's not good, Erica. But I feel like this thing, it's just really a spray. So I just wipe it on the cat, so that way it's a little, it's damp, and then comb them and then wipe them again. I think it works quite well. But Oreo, thankfully he's a cheap cat when it comes to this, so I can use this dander reducing spray. And you can see, look at this. Look at this cat. Oh, he's so cute. So this is I think if any of you are feeling, let's say, you know, not so confident about your cats, or you feel like, oh, my cat looks like crap because your cat just doesn't look like an Instagram cat. And I'm not claiming Oreo's an Instagram cat, but I have to say I think Oreo looks so much better than he did before. And I want to be honest with you, it's if you have poor food, I feel like you have to comb him a lot more because he'll have a lot more dander. I really do think he's allergic to grains. Or maybe it's a coincidence that he has a lot less dander than he did before. Before Oreo, if I did not brush him in a week, he looked like basically a dandruff flake. So now, with the new Halo food, he's so much better. And you can see that he has a little bit, but it's a lot less than before. If you do see a little spots of dander, all they do is they would say, just spray him. I don't think you can overdo on the dander spray. I remember before I was just, I was actually combing him 30 minutes a day at one point because he had just so much dander and so much buildup. And that's because like Lewis doesn't like brushing the cats. So if I don't brush him, they don't really get brushed at all. Maybe like once every 2 months or something like that. So Oreo had a lot of dander built up and a lot of excess fur, and it was like really gross looking. But I worked through it with a combination of the dander spray and the comb, and it's just persistent, right? Because it's like if you have and I'm only saying this because I think some cats might have a really bad dander problem. And I would say, even though it seems excessive, my personal opinion is you just got to work at it. Keep grooming them, even if it looks really gross and there's a lot of dander. Keep brushing, keep brushing. Eventually, it'll stop. And if you give them higher quality food, or if you feel like they're allergic to grain-free, then that really helps a lot. So I'm going to show you what Oreo. Oops. So I'm going to. Mic technique. So I'm gonna show you what Oreo is on right now. Oreo is on this, which is Halo Lamb Stew. This is actually cheaper than the prescription food, and honestly, I think their poops are fine, in my opinion. I've looked at it. I would recommend making sure that if your cat does have food allergies, see what they might be allergic to. Oreo, I had a sneaking suspicion that he was allergic to chicken, and this one is predominantly lamb. Now there's chicken broth but I don't know if you guys can see this over here. You guys see it? So there is the first ingredients: lamb, then chicken broth, and beef liver, carrots, celery, green beans. I was a little worried because I heard some people say that putting vegetables in food or like peas for cats is not good. But I wanted to try it out because the first ingredient is lamb and then chicken broth. I felt like maybe Oreo is allergic to chicken, but maybe the chicken broth would be okay. So he is no longer on prescription food. He's on this lamb stew. And as I mentioned before, Oreo had dander issues with the prescription food. That was a chicken based. So this one, for whatever reason, I think it's because it's lamb. He's not allergic to lamb. He reacts so much better on this. So I think Oreo's going to be on this for the foreseeable future unless I decide to change the food. And I get this on Amazon Subscribe and Save. So I have a bunch of these. And just a little warning here, because Oreo was on prescription food, because I ran out of it, I had to switch him just straight on to Halo, and he did have digestive issues for about 5 days. Now he doesn't have anything, and I think, you know, that's a good thing. But if you guys are transitioning over to food, do the recommended. I think they say it's like a course of 8 days, give them about 25% of food and go up to 50% or 75%, and then you slowly transition over. Now, for some people, you might say, I don't want to go through 25% of the food at the time. I don't want to waste the food. Just put a cover over it, the food, the extra food, or a lid over it or bowl over it, and just keep it in the refrigerator. That way, you don't waste food. And I say this very openly because I've never had a cat before, so a lot of this stuff, even though it might seem common sense to you guys, I'm sharing it because I don't want certain people to make the same mistakes I did. And I see it as like, even though this can be considered potentially embarrassing, I think of it as a learning experience, and you just got to move forward. So Oreo has been on several different foods, and he's been on wellness core, which was chicken. He was on the turkey, which I can't remember how he reacted to, but specifically, but he was having stool issues with both of those foods. That's why he switched over to like Royal Canin, Sensitive Digest. We moved him over to different foods as well. And ultimately, you know, he ended up on prescription food. I ran out of that after a year, and because Oreo's stools were not perfect still, I thought, well, you know, I have nothing to lose. I'm not gonna, I don't want to put him back on prescription food because it wasn't perfect and it comes at a price premium. So I thought, let me just let me try different food. Let me try different proteins. And this was the first one that we've tried, the Halo lamb stew. We also had this instinct one, but I think I'm just going to stick with the Halo. See, so it's grain-free, whole lamb. If it's not broke, I don't want to fix it yet. But yeah, this food, he seems like he's doing well on it. And so I'm going to recommend this for the time being. And you can see Oreo, as I've shared with you guys before, I didn't brush him for about a week. And his dander is a lot less than it was before. If I put him on prescription food and I don't brush him for a week, it shows. And I only say that because when I was in Hawaii, he wasn't getting brushed really. So I came back and he had like so much dander. This cat is really high maintenance. You know, he's so cute, but he requires a lot of care, and that's why I've always said to you guys, like, you guys might see Oreo, there might be a person out there who says, oh, I want to adopt a cat because Oreo's so cute. He's a lot of work. I would recommend, and again, I'm not perfect, but I would recommend brush the cat twice a day, or at least once a day, you know, morning and night. And it doesn't have to be that long, but the more you brush, it's a good bonding experience for the cat too. And I have fallen off the bandwagon, but I gotta, you know, get in better habits. So spend 5 minutes a day brushing each cat in the morning, and then before I go to sleep, brush them again. And you can see, oh, look at him, he's so cute. Hello, Oreo. Again, I try to see him in the upper half because, you know, his family jewels are over there. So I don't want to, you know, in case he has any, I am sure he has like some small nipples over there. I don't want to like hit them with the comb kind of thing. So that is it. So again, if you do, what are you doing, Oreo? Get him. If you do that, if you do comb him, if you do brush him, I would recommend making sure you just end it with a quick comb. And I know I've done this many times. Again, I'm just doing a few straight combs over here because when he gets up, his fur is not ruffled. He looks more regal, shall I say. Let's go and show a look of him. See him? That is Oreo over here. Oreo. Oreo, do you want to show people how you look? Okay, so he looks like a good cat. He looks quite groomed, and I like it when he's very groomed. So, if I want to make him more shiny, in my opinion, from my experience, I just need to spray him more, and I need to comb him more regularly. I did a stream where I showed you guys when Oreo was like high shine. That was when I was combing him 2 times a day, and I was hitting him with the dander spray once a day. So, it's really, if you want the cat to be more healthy looking, you really should groom them more, and then make sure they have good food. And again, if you feel like you're lacking in one, just make sure you do what you can. So this food, I think it's good for Oreo. I'll see how he looks like. Look at him. I'll see how he looks like if I comb him and groom him more. Maybe I can get him into that high shine state like I did before. But it's not tough. You just, like I said, 5 minutes a day. I feel like morning and night, that's the best for Oreo. And then hit him with dander spray at least once, about 6 times on the top. And that's about it. So you guys can watch this video if you guys want for referral. Again, I know I'm repeating myself, but I just want to just drive it to the point that it's very important to groom a cat, because if you don't groom a cat, they start having dander issues. They start shedding more fur around the place, and if you have a cat like Oreo where it's not a very good groomer at all, Oreo's a very, very lazy groomer. I've done videos about Oreo. He'll like basically lie down, and then he'll basically just groom his shoulders and his neck and call it a day. And that's when I see him grooming. So he just, relies on me to groom him a lot. But so don't think that if you see Oreo, you think, oh, Oreo's a very clean cat. He grooms himself. He is a lazy guy. But that's okay, because he makes it up for it in cuteness for sure. Wanna go? Okay, there he is. There he is. That's a little bit on his joints, I think. So Oreo appreciates you guys checking in on him, and I think he would recommend that you guys groom your cats as well, and make sure that you spend time with your cat, because I think it's, if you really care about something, you want to make sure that it has good nutrition, good grooming, and it costs like pennies a day to groom this cat. It would cost a lot more, obviously, if we brought him to a groomer and had it done there. I think this thing itself is like about $7. This brush is about $16. I'll link it in the description later. So you figure for a $22 investment, and we've had this brush for over a year, by the way. For a $22 investment, this can probably last you for about, I'd say, 5 months of grooming for one cat or more. Because there's 3 cats that are using this. Actually, 2 cats technically, because Clinton doesn't like this. It's less, but yeah, you really get a bang for your buck if you just do things yourself. And again, I'm not saying spend 15 minutes a day every day, but just be mindful, when you have some time, if you're watching or listening to music, go and just multitask. You guys know I do these streams where I have the washing machine running, I have the dishwasher running at the same time. I do these walking talks where I walk, and I walk and I exercise. I do streams, so I do a 2-in-1 thing. And I think for me, if I get into the habit of maybe listening to something and grooming Oreo, that's a way I can get this thing in and not have to really think about it. So it's all about intentional. Oreo, what is this, Oreo? Look at him. Are you stuck, Oreo? I think it's all about intentionality. Yeah, so Oreo has this thing where after a while he likes trying to bite. He likes to try to bite. Okay, Oreo. You see him? I think he's feeling pretty playful. So Yeah. Where's Clinton? Clinton is just at the window. Has Oreo lost weight? I don't know if he's lost weight. He's getting fed the same amount of food, but maybe he has. He's been asking for more food ever since I moved him over to regular cat food. So it's kind of funny because I'll feed him and then 2 hours later he'll act like no, he never got fed. So he's been, but I know, I'm like, Oreo, I know you want to eat more food because it's more tasty than the prescription food for sure. So with that in mind, it's like I try to, I always tell myself I got to keep this cat on a diet because I don't want to feed him extra, and then he ends up eating 5 cans a day or something like that. 5-6 cans a day. So yeah, that is it. I gotta sweep up and make sure. So for me, I have this box and I usually just keep it like this, and then that way I have a little station. That's what I do. I would also recommend that if you guys have like a apartment or house with multi-rooms. Where's the cat go? Oh my goodness, where did the cat go? I don't know where I put the cat. I don't like losing that cat either. Wherever it went off to. I would recommend that buy 2 of these if it helps you, because maybe you'll have one in the living room, maybe you'll have one in the bedroom. Because like I said, these brushes will last a long time. I feel like it'll last, we've had them for over a year, so what's the big deal about buying 2 brushes? I have one by the bed, I have another one in the kitchen. This is where normally the cats stay. If I feel like grooming them, it's, I don't have to walk to the other side of the apartment just to groom them. And this is my little cardboard station that I have. I don't know where that cat is. I'll find it after I finish streaming. I'm like, that's where the cat was. But that is some solutions. Oh, here we go. I moved it because I had Oreo over there. So see, something like this. That is how I make sure that I don't lose this kind of stuff. And then afterwards, as you guys know, we also have a broom on each side of the apartment. It's not aesthetic, but I can't imagine only having one broom here. The more brooms, the better, because it encourages cleaning. You see? Like, screw aesthetics when it comes to that kind of stuff. So, if you live in a place with a lot of cat fur, if you see a cat weave bundle and you're feeling lazy, I feel like it's better just to store another broom and say, okay, yeah, I don't want to walk to the other room to go grab, or walk to the other side of the apartment to grab that one comb. So that's it. I'm just gonna put these away right now. Okay. Yeah, so that is going to be the end of the stream. I woke up earlier today, so I'm gonna get a head start today. Probably, let's see, right now it's 9 o'clock. I'll probably go for my run at 10 and give myself an hour to eat breakfast and just have a more leisurely day. I like starting my day off early, because when I start my day off early, I feel like I'm more productive. I'm beating the curve. Yeah. So when I feel like I'm beating the curve like that, I feel more like I'm winning. Does that make sense? Maybe, maybe not, because usually, like, if you start your day later, you feel like you're at a late start. So let me. I'm gonna start the stove. Oops. I feel like it takes a couple minutes to preheat. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I like to do. And just make sure that I try to squeeze as much things as I can in a short amount of time. And here's my milk tea from yesterday. So I hope you guys have a productive morning. And I gotta change my habits, so I squeeze in grooming the cats, which I know I can do. I just need to, I think I've been moving forward with certain things for sure. But yeah, so I'll talk to you guys later after I do my little walk and talk. Jim says 11 p.m. I'll say good night as you start your day. Yeah, Jim, I hope you've been doing well. I know if I worked out earlier, then you could catch my streams, but I've been having a pretty, let's say, a pretty late start, I guess. Pretty early start. No, pretty late, because sometimes I don't do my walk or run until noon or so. Oh, look at this. Do we have a cat? Do we have an incoming cat? Well, actually, I can't groom him because I have to go make breakfast. So, yeah. But you guys can see Oreo here. See that? This is the well-groomed cat. Oreo, do you wanna say hello to your fans? Oh, he ran. Okay, so that was Oreo's attempt of trying to show off his grooming. You can see maybe he doesn't want to be on camera anymore, but he looks good. He looks like he's well groomed. And again, I don't want anybody to just look at the cats and just think, oh, okay, well, the cats look good naturally. They don't. There's grooming involved. There's food involved. There's supplements involved, and it's just like a human being, right? The more you put in, the more you'll get in return. And of course, there's going to be a time that they plateau. But I feel like if you're a cat owner and you envy other cats and you see them on Instagram or you see them on social media, don't think that that's out of the reach for your cat as well. Because, like, yeah, there's some cats that make it and they're really, well groomed and things like that. But if you have, let's say, $20 to spend, you can buy a brush, you can buy the spray, and if you can spend, I'd say, 5 minutes a day on your cat twice a day, so 10 minutes a day, grooming them every day. That's what my recommendation would be. You'll find that over time, not just like one day, but maybe like 2 weeks in, you'll notice there's a big difference in how the cats look. And I know that's to be true because I used to do that. And I'm gonna try and redo that again because, like I've always said, right? You get off the bandwagon, you can always get back on, and it's basically pennies a day to make sure that they're on point. So if I'm working on myself, I feel like I've been trying to be better off with time management, trying to squeeze things in, so I can definitely do that with the cats as well. And that is all I wanted to say. Don't just admire another animal. Don't admire a cat online and then say, oh, that's that cat. That's not my cat. Because I think that you can definitely get it done. You just need to put that time and effort in. That's all. Okay, you guys. Shall see ya.